we are a smidge bit late because technical difficulties. Um, but we are here. Um, let me see. Let me get my chat up. Public chat. There we go. Um, we had a nice week off last week. A lot of us, all of us, very busy the last few weeks, and we just needed some downtime. Hopefully, our guest Todd will be able to join us. We haven't seen him pop on yet to talk about Mortuary Manor. But Kayla, you're out in the middle of nowhere, Maine.
I am.
Ooh,
I
nice.
moved
I
this far
love
enough that I am
Maine.
in northern Maine in the mountains. It's gorgeous. Yeah, and I'm actually staying at a campground, but I've been wandering all over the place. Got a little lost yesterday because my GPS went out. Like there was no service anywhere. Like I can't even call for help. I was like in the middle of nowhere.
That's scary. I do love Maine. Maine is a beautiful state. Actually, I like all of the East Coast
Yeah.
states.
We have an
Yeah.
awesome country overall. Like we have like everything. We have beaches and deserts and mountains and lakes and
Right.
rivers. It's pretty cool.
We have like everything here.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a
In
moose butt. That was exciting. I didn't get to see the whole moose this time, but I saw his big butt wandering through. I'm like, oh, come back.
now, Kathy, you're back down at OSR.
I am. I'm in the paranormal office here, right after our big event, and it's like got boxes everywhere. So I kind of made my way through. But you have my Ghostbusters clock on the wall.
Right, right. You're recovering from Parapsychon
Oh my
down
gosh,
there.
yes, I am. I think I'll take about 3 months to recover.
I bet. It's just as a vendor prepping for that, I can't imagine being the mastermind, one of the masterminds for putting that whole thing together.
Mhm.
Um, but I know I had fun, and I think every other vendor around me, loved it and had fun and
Mhm.
enjoyed being there.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, we actually went over our numbers. We beat our numbers from last year. So that, and when I say numbers, I mean as far as guest count, people that came through the doors. I and everybody that came through. I mean, what a wonderful group of people, all the way around. Parapsychon, I have to say, does have this wonderful positive vibe about it, which makes
mhm.
it enjoyable for everybody, whether you're working the event, you're vending, that whether you're your talent or your guests coming in, everybody seems to have a really, really good time.
Someday
So
I'll make it.
yes, you do need to make it. It's amazing. It's really a lot of fun.
I'll have to
So
come with Melissa's helper since you don't have any booths open. I'll just come on in
Yeah,
with her.
mhm, there you go. I'm fine
smart.
with it, but that's up to Melissa.
I don't think she would tell me no. Not on live air.
Now, it would
What
be
I
nice
say in
if you could
Oh,
actually
can I
take
clarify my shirt really quick since it just says I love
yes.
peeing? It says I love peeing outdoors, just so everybody doesn't think I'm crazy for wearing a shirt that says I love peeing. Because this is going to be like out there forever on YouTube and all the other streaming things. So it's I love peeing
Oh, that's
outdoors, not
so
just I love
funny.
peeing. Poorly planned thing, but
That is
here we
a
are.
whole other chat and type of chat that we are not doing today, ma'am.
Yes, but I'm really,
Kind
really
of
glad
trying to cover it.
you clarified that because I was wondering myself.
Calavera, our friend Todd for Mortuary Manor, not hearing from him. And Calavera is the one who made the connection for us for him and an event that we're going to be doing down at Mortuary Manor in November. So we wanted to talk about some of the haunted history, anything he's experienced since purchasing Mortuary Manor. Um, so I don't know if you have a way of like poking him while we're live. That would be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, Miller, um, um, we were thinking maybe we could talk on some woo woo stuff before Todd hops on. Some topics, some suggestions from everybody. Kathy, I know you mentioned like some broom magic stuff.
Right.
We could always go deeper into that on a Wednesday morning. Unless you've got some broom magic ready to go. I mean, all I can think off the top of my head is you take your broom, put it up by your door, bristles up. When you got people at your house that won't leave at a
Yep,
timely manner.
that's what I do. That is one of the broom magic things that I do is I take my broom when it's like, oh, come on, people, I want to go to bed. Will you please? And you
If
don't
all
want to
fails, you stab them with it, right?
yeah. I'm not like hitting them with it to get out of the house. I just turn it upside down.
I've seen some people, it's like if they're sitting and they're not leaving, like if they came for dinner and it's long past, just start brushing around their feet like you're cleaning up, and it kind of sends the message of like
I
it's
used to have
time to
an aunt who would do that with the vacuum cleaner. She would just like come around with the vacuum. It's like, all right, you could just say you want to leave.
It's a good
Good
one you
morning.
could do too if the broom doesn't
So-
work. Do you want to help
Right.
me with the dishes? I got to clean up. Can you help me? Oh, it's gotta go. I gotta leave. That might work.
Yeah.
So,
Start digging out the floors.
My broom was actually from my Catholic grandmother that she got in, I can't remember if it was Hungary or Germany, somewhere when she was traveling. So my very, very Catholic grandmother has all these things, including like, ooh, sorry.
Oh.
I'm on a logging route where I'm staying, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to mute it in time, but they come by really, really quickly. But yeah, so she brought that back, and she has like a really, really early edition, like the tissue paper printed book of The Exorcist and some other odd things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she was Catholic, sure. Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, that being said, we're going to have Dave Giuliano on again in a few. Second Wednesday in not November, June. So if we want to get back into more questions that you might have for Dave about exorcisms, deliverance, and maybe Catholic prayers of exorcism, gather those up for Dave.
Yeah,
Here
we have them down for the 24th.
the 24th is okay.
Yes. Yep, the 24th.
Okay. And the same, my scheduled handwritten paper at the store, not it's here, but at the store.
Yeah, you sent it to me, so I opened it up real quick. That's teamwork, people.
Yay!
As it should be.
Right.
No competition, no anything. Everybody can kind of work together nicely, get along, smile.
Chris, how is it going in your barn with your little Amish guy hanging out there?
I can't see the messages. I'm like trying to pull it up. I can't see them.
It might be harder on the phone with this one.
Okay.
We should have Chris come back on at some point and talk about how things have progressed with your Amish helper in the barn. And maybe what he thinks now of the afterlife that he's in it and hanging around.
He's like, I'm not doing Amish in the next lifetime. I want my lights and my plumbing back.
It's like the belief system, what he believed then, if he's willing to talk about it now, or if you've gotten it, kind of out of him. I know you said he mentioned that he likes the other helpers you have because they are young Amish helping you on the farm and in the stables. So I do know that he enjoys that. But Chris, I don't know if you've ever gotten to go down to Mansfield. And I don't think you got to come down to Parapsychon because I didn't see you bopping around unless I just happened not to see you. Hello. We are playing Fill in the Topic today while we wait for our guest. Last minute. We were talking about some woo-woo stuff. If anybody wants to ask questions or have suggestions for woo-woo stuff that we can maybe touch in on. I think the fairies stole Kayla out in the woods of Maine. She just disappeared off the screen.
Yeah, I think she was taken away by those loggers.
I think knowing Kayla, an animal walked by and she had to go pet it. when she's been with me down in Tucson, she's like, if I see an armadillo, I want to go pet it. And I'm like, leprosy, ma'am. No, don't go pet anything out in the wild. I don't know how I'm going to explain that to your parents when I have to make a phone call that we're in the hospital for some reason.
Hmm.
Um, but we were going to talk about Mortuary Manor with the owner. He's MIA. Maybe the fairies stole him too.
Mhm.
Because he is also the owner of the Anatomy of the Museum of Death up in Michigan. So both places are reported to have shadow people walking around, disembodied voices. So hopefully he can pop on and tell us his experiences since purchasing Mortuary Manor, which was relatively recent. I think it was like October, November that he bought it.
Mhm.
So up until July, it was still an active funeral home. Um, so that's interesting how that all plays out. Oh, here we go. She's like, it's going well. We seem to have a good understanding that he's taking care of the animals and the land. He enjoys the girls since they are familiar to him, and that I now have an understanding of his culture that was cut off. So that's cool.
Okay,
That's
that is
cool.
cool. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It is cool.
I wouldn't mind having some, invisible helpers that are not on payroll.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Um,
Good morning.
we kind of have a loose conversation. So I guess questions, anything under the woo woo umbrella we can talk about today until our guests log on.
So here's a random topic. Again, pardon the trucks. Um, so we did the whole Sasquatch Bigfoot thing, right? We were having those conversations. So I asked around. So I'm a part of my lineage is Penobscot Indian. One of the people we're here visiting is Penobscot. So I messaged him when we did the episode about like, what do you call him? Like, what are your beliefs in that? He goes, we don't believe in that. I'm like, okay. So we're going with they don't believe in it. And I've asked a couple people around here. They're like, eh. I'm like, well, that's disappointing. It's Maine. Like, and you'll see like huge like metal Sasquatch statues. So like, there's some people that do, but I feel like I shouldn't just pull into a drive and be like, hey, what do you think about Sasquatch? Tell me your experiences. So. But it's
Now,
been very interesting because I thought it would have been way more like there would have been like really cool conversation about it, and they're just kind of unless they're like you're a stranger, we don't want to talk to you about our experiences. I don't know.
that could be. That could
So
be.
Yes.
But you do have a friend coming on in a couple weeks
I
who
do.
has had some experiences with Bigfoot, and
Yes. In New
so
York. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So we'll have Bill on.
A squirrel just fell out of the tree. I don't know if you guys heard it, and it sounded like it was gonna hit me. I don't know if you guys heard that. I'm so sorry. I heard a big noise and I got like really close. It was like a squirrel that just came like falling out of the tree. I hope it's okay. I don't know if you guys heard it. Like it slapped the ground. Sorry.
No, I
Uh,
am going to look up for you, Melanie. She asked if there's any woo woo for Hilton Head.
oh,
Um, Hilton Head, Zion Cemetery and Banyard Mausoleum is famously haunted by the Blue Lady of Palmetto Dunes and the ghost of William Baynard. There's the Stony Baynard ruins located in Sea Pines. These 19 or 1790s plantation ruins are widely considered to be the most active paranormal spot on the island. Visitors often report seeing a ghost of the original owner roaming the grounds and sometimes even witnessing spectral funeral procession. I want to see the funeral procession.
that would be cool.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Gribble House Paranormal. Just a short trip away in neighboring Savannah, Georgia. Trying to read live on screen without coffee because I left it over there. You can experience a documented haunted warehouse and the Savannah haunted pub crawls. If you prefer to combine spirits with history, operators offer dozens of guided walking and bar hopping tours. I
I have a friend who's doing that right now. Actually, her and her friends went down there. They had a girls' trip, and they're doing that
Oh,
whole Savannah thing, bar crawls, haunted tours.
I love
well, that's
Savannah.
fun.
Still have yet to be there. Drove past it, didn't stop.
Mhm.
And I guess there's a vagabond cruise ghost ship down there as well. So, Melanie, I don't know if you've done any of those. Um, maybe. Have your friends experienced anything yet on the tours?
Oh, my friend. Sorry, thought you were asking Melanie. I don't know. I haven't heard from them. I've been here, so the spot, like, the service is really horrible. For
Really?
the most part, I don't have service. I'm actually part of the reason I stayed here is because I can still be in the woods and connected to their Wi-Fi. I moved just far enough till I saw the Wi-Fi starting to drop. Otherwise, if I drive like 5 minutes up the road, there's zero service. So,
And
I think
the
gas is cheap. For all the driving around I've been doing, lost. Not.
the Blue Range Lighthouse is
Ooh,
considered another, and that blue lady is attached to the Rear Range lighthouse. So if you're into lighthouses, maybe go check her out or check the lighthouse out and see if you catch a glimpse of the blue lady down there in the Hilton Head area. Maybe we should do some research around here because there's a lot of lighthouse. Well, I don't know a lot, but lighthouses around Ohio and Lake Erie,
Yeah.
and maybe look up some haunted lore on them or just the Great Lakes in general. Because I know a lot of ships go down or used to go down with the waves. They were called like the Rogue Sisters because they would come in threes, is it? And it would take down a lot of ships because it would just nonstop battering in a row.
The Great Lakes are not far from ocean quality waters when they get angry. I've actually met people that have been charter captains out in the ocean and in the Great Lakes, and they're like, Great Lakes are pretty sketchy. I grew up out on the Great Lakes also, but it can be pretty bad out there. I know somebody that, sorry.
I was just going to say, my last job before I retired was for the Interlake Steamship Company, and that's all the cargo ships on the Great Lakes. And you are absolutely right. Some of those waters are so rough. It's like being on the ocean. And what's really bad too is during the winter when the lakes are frozen and they have to get
snow.
through. Yeah.
We get the snow. They get to break through the ice.
It's amazing the job that they have as far as maneuvering those huge cargo ships on the small lakes. It's not like they're in a huge ocean. Very, very skilled captains.
Yeah. And I know somebody that has sorry.
And some of the lakes are pretty deep, so it's not, like come down and come back up. Like I think Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong. If a cargo ship goes down, they're just considered lost. Like they don't go get them because of how far down they are. Right?
That I can't answer for sure, but you figure, look at Fitzgerald. That went down, but what was that in? Wasn't that like Superior? I think.
We'll pull open another tab and go look real quick.
I'm pretty sure it was Superior.
Lake Erie really isn't that deep.
No, or like Ontario. I mean, they have deep spots, but not compared to like Michigan and Superior and whatever.
Yeah, so I would imagine it's more where the location is. And I know up in that area, there are a lot of ships, that are sitting at the bottom.
Yeah. Lake Erie has
just cargo.
Cargo ships, old pirate ships from, before we all had our towns around there. Somebody I know has a map of that. They have a place up in Canada, and they have a shipwreck map of Lake Erie and all the old like pirate ships and stuff. So it's kind of cool because it's not just the new things. It has a lot of really old documented ships, but there's a lot of them. Like you look at this whole big blown up map of Lake Erie, and it's just spots all over marked with the names and the years of them, and so maybe I should be the lady that. Did you guys ever hear about that lady that married the pirate? Like he was dead, but she married him, and then she was able to inherit his like gold. Like they somehow found his gold, and this lady like found out a loophole that she could marry a dead guy and was able to. I forget what her name was, but it was a few years ago. But I'm just like, maybe that's what I need to do. Heck with dating, I'm gonna marry a ghost,
a dead man,
ghost pirate, ghost Viking. I don't know.
Hey, new life goals now.
I see you're looking for the date for Parapsychon next year. It's always the third weekend in May. So next year it's May 14th through the 16th. So if you want to put that on your calendar, go ahead and put it on your calendar because it's not going to change. So, and, talking about Parapsychon a little bit, something cool that happened that I thought was really neat. We have our celebrity ghost hunt. And, people get to buy tickets to go investigate with the celebrities. And there was one location we had, which was the attic. And we had one of the OSR volunteers there who's a historian, basically. He loves the history. of all the inmates and everything. So he has this huge spreadsheet of information, right? Well, they were up in the attic and they were doing their little investigating and they were doing an Estes method. For those that don't know what the Estes method is, it's when you have the spirit box plugged into headphones and there's one person that's sitting there and listening to the spirit box, and then nobody else can hear what that person's hearing, but you ask questions. So as they were doing this Estes method, the celebrities were asking the questions and they were getting responses like names and things like that. So as they were getting names, he was pulling up names of people that were actually in the attic, that were housed in the attic. So he was giving this information to the celebrities, and the celebrities were asking the questions, and it was being confirmed. It was being related, which is really, 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 really cool. So that was a real neat experience with the celebrity ghost hunt. And then, of course, there's the other areas that we also did stuff in, where all the celebrities were getting all kinds of activity and everything. So it was pretty cool celebrity ghost hunt for the Paris Icon. Oh, you can hardly hear me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in my office at OSR. I apologize. I'll stop talking.
I can hear
Lean a
you,
little
but that
closer.
doesn't seem much with my service that I have here.
Yeah, just lean a little closer. It's
Part of me like swatting mosquitoes, by the way. I had mosquito thing around me, but apparently it's not helping.
Yeah, I don't want to move closer to Melissa because then you see too much of my face.
Yeah.
funny that I was watching a podcast and the host was using her phone and the guest was fine, but the host, like all you saw was like this was her mouth the whole time. And
Oh my god.
everybody's like, back up, move. And then she couldn't see it because of being on her phone. And I'm like,
Oh.
I feel bad for you, but this is hilarious. Um, but
I'd rather have my I love peeing shirt than just my face and my just my nose and my mouth.
so, the Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior on November 10th, 1975. And it was carrying, this is astounding to me how big these ships are and what it can carry, 26,000 tons of iron ore pellets. So you know that ship, when it started going down, it was going down quick. There was a monster scale hurricane force gust and 35 to 60-foot waves swept across Lake Superior. So that's what they were kind of in for. But what's kind of eerie, it says the final words around 7:10 p.m. in response to a query from the trailing freighter SS Arthur Anderson, Captain Misquirley replied, "We are holding our own," shortly after the ship vanished from radar without ever sending a distress signal. Yeah, wreckage was found days later, laying in two large pieces in Canadian waters, 535 feet below the surface of the lake. It rests about 17 miles northwest of Whitefish Point, Michigan.
Superior's like crazy deep. He has some crazy things going on, for sure.
Now, anybody that might remember a couple years ago, Marianne, we did a live clearing of some office space that we used to have, and one of the ghosts in there was a young man who had went down on the Fitzgerald.
Wow.
And we had his name and everything, and we were finally able, he was one of the real young ones, able to help move him on and cross him over. And thankfully he took the little girl that was hanging around who was kind of lost. She was from some local houses, and we found and looked her up. So he helped kind of scooch her along into the light to cross over. And she was a little resistant to go because she kept liking to play with the rocks. And I'm like, honey, cross over and you can come run your hands and all the rocks you want. And
All
I'll
the
be
rocks.
easy to do so. So, you know, even we had a little connection to the Fitzgerald, funny enough. I'm like, we weren't Wisconsin and we're not Canada, but yet one of the departed had found his way around us because he knew that one of us was going to be able to help him somehow, some way.
Oh, I love that.
So that
Yeah,
was
I love it too.
I do know. So I've met a couple of people that worked on some of the freight, the freighters. They're actually mechanics on it, and so I learned a couple like cool superstitions from them. But one of them is like they won't name the ships with 13. You can't have 13 letters in it. It can be more or less because they believe that's a cursed ship. Then like it's automatically like you will not come back. It's basically a death sentence if you have a ship with 13 letters in the name. So
I'll tell you what, sailors, they are
a
very,
lot of
very
superstitions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
superstitious. Yeah, very
You
much.
can't leave on a certain day. You can't do. There's like so many things that are.
Well, when I planned the christening for one of the cargo ships 4 years ago, I guess it was. Wow, time flies. 4 years ago, we could not christen the ship on a Friday.
Yep.
Because you're basically dooming that ship.
Yeah, you can't christen them for certain days. And isn't there's something else to that too, the christening thing? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It's been a while. I was like fascinated. I met these guys. I'm like, oh my God, I could talk to you guys for like a year and not get bored of all these things. But yeah, you can't leave on a certain day. You can't come back on a certain day. You can't christen a ship on a certain day. You need like a guidebook this thick to work on a freighter or a ship.
You are absolutely right. The one that sticks in my mind the most, because I always did the events for them, was when they would do toasts. You're not supposed to clink the glasses, because if you clink glasses, each clink, you're killing a soldier or sailor, basically. You're that's what they do. So usually when you do a toast, you at an event, you hear the clink, 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 clink. There, it's pure, complete silence, and everybody just has their glass up in the air.
Well away from their neighbor, right? Like,
yes. Yeah. So yeah, they do have a lot of superstitions. You're right.
It's kind of cool though. I like hearing that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And like famous sinkings and which ones, because I can't remember if it's still in Cleveland right now, but there's a warship that's been docked for a bit and you can go on. And I'm like,
we have some here in Buffalo too. Yeah.
I was gonna say we should go do some ghost ship, going on and being like, are there ghosts?
I think they do ghost tours at ours. I'm almost positive they do. They used to. I don't know. There's a submarine and a ship.
Yeah, there's one right not too far from where you are. I think it's in Charleston. But I did get to investigate one of our ships. Now that you brought that up, I completely forgot about it. The captain of one of our ships contacted my boss, who was the president of Interlake, and said that he thought that the ship was haunted, and the haunting was causing like cursing basically on the ship. And my boss came out to me and he said, my captain says this, can you get out there? He's going to be docking in Chicago. And I'm like, yep, I'll get out there. So I called my husband and I called another team member, and the three of us flew as fast as we could. But what was really weird was there were all these roadblocks that were being put in our way as we were going there. So something was trying to prevent us from getting to the ship on time while they were docked, because they are on a very strict schedule. So it's like, you got to get there at this time frame, and if you don't make it, you don't make it. So even a train, when we got to the port, a train crosses our path and stops. And we're like, what the heck? So they held it up for a little while. And we got on the ship, and there definitely was a haunting going on there. A couple of different things. We had residuals of a captain that had passed away, but he was no issue whatsoever. He was the captain of the ship. So he was there, but there was also
can't leave that ship. They got to stay with their ship.
That's right. You go down with the ship. So there was a man who had died down below in the bottom of the ship where the cargo is, basically. And he had a massive heart attack. He was a contractor. He was not a person on the ship, okay? And he had died there, and his spirit was still there. And when I walked down, I actually ran into him. And it was funny because we were being given the tour. And I did a dead stop because it was like I ran into him. And I had the guy giving the tour, and the captain was on the end behind me and the other two people, my husband and our team member. And I ran into somebody. There's somebody right here. And he said that's where that guy had the heart attack. So we had figured it out. He was trying to find his way home, and he didn't know how to because he was on the ship. So we coached the captain and everything on what to do. We coached the spirit was what to do, and the captain when he got to where his home location was, which took a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
He got blocked. We got blocked there too. The ship couldn't come into port. So it was being blocked, like it wasn't allowing him to go home for some reason. And the ship was actually having to, stay out until finally they got permission to come in. And he did, at the bottom of the story is, he did end up going home, but I don't know why there was all these roadblocks of letting him go rest in peace. But he was off the ship after that, but they still had these other, who knows, maybe the other spirits that were on the ship wanted him to stay. I don't know. But he did go home. But the other spirits remain, but they're not causing any trouble.
I was gonna say, what would make him, to cause him not to be able to get off the ship?
I
Like,
know.
clearly he wanted to go home.
Mm-hmm. But something was preventing him.
Well, I'm glad he got to go home.
Yes, he did.
I mean, I wonder if it has to do with like some of the superstitions. Like if something happened and like it would have been superstitious for him to leave the ship. You know what I mean? Like, so like, because I know sometimes they do have like contracted people on ships, right? And they're not always going to know the thing. So I kind of picking that up from it, but I'm wondering if that is like a thing. We'll have to look that up. But like that's kind of the impression I'm getting is like it would have been superstitious for him to leave under whatever the circumstances were.
That makes perfect sense, actually. Because of this, how superstitious they are, that would make sense.
Yeah. I kind of want to ask one of the guys if they would come talk about superstitions just because it's kind of woo-woo-y.
I know a few.
But it's probably all are superstitious for them, to talk about it. But it would be kind of fun to like, maybe we can wrangle a couple and have them talk about that stuff sometime.
Like hopefully between the two of you, we can get one or two. I
agree.
Woo-woo powers unite. Chris says, I would really like to tour that ship while it's here. One to see the spirits that may be aboard, and also my muggle job makes the material that most of the identification plates and asset tags are made from.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I don't know if Kathy, if that old company is still having some paranormal stuff, and if they.
I have not heard anything, but they're also very limited on who can get on the ship.
It makes sense. Safety, especially if they have any government contracts and who's allowed to get on what.
But I will say, if there is something going on, I know they will contact me, and I will definitely, I'll definitely reach out to you.
Cool. I can't wait.
And Melissa gets to go too. And
not that I want there to be problems on a ship and people's lives, potentially in danger on the water, because I
make sure they can wait 4 hours for me to get there.
Yeah. Like, Kayla, I need you here by Tuesday at this time when we leave our parking lot to go to ship.
Can't drive at COVID speeds anymore. I made really great time during COVID when I came to pick up all the crystals that COVID year. I was like, this is fantastic. There's no traffic. There's no radar. I made it really, really quickly.
It was a weird year,
And gas was like 89 cents a gallon when I came through the reservation that we go through coming through New York to Ohio, well, to Pennsylvania and then to Ohio. But I was like, I can handle 89 cents a gallon. That's fantastic.
That was just such a weird year because there was no traffic. There was nothing going on in the skies. There were no airplanes, no nothing. But I tell you what, my husband and I used to sit out in our hot tub at night and look up in the skies. Even though there were no airplanes or anything, we saw some pretty cool things up there that we questioned. We like to stir up in the sky and see all these things, and they were you could easily see them without all that stuff going through.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
It makes you.
Ohio has so much UFO stuff, and I'm surprised, Kayla, just you haven't moved to Ohio with all of the UFO stuff that
I
happens
don't
here.
want to move anywhere. I want them to take me off this freaking planet. That was
Same,
the only moving I will accept.
yeah, same, but they keep driving by me. I don't know who, I'm in a wrong alien gang or something. They will not come get me.
They're
Uh,
punishing us. We're just stuck here.
yeah.
Well, that's interesting. We're talking about that because next week we are having somebody in, like Rick Secker.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
talk
fun.
about Portals to the Stars. And he was so thank you, Mike. Our cancellation for next week. And so I texted him yesterday and be like, hey, are you able? And he goes, AM or PM? And I go, AM. He goes, I'm there. And I'm like, thank you. So those local who may have came to Marianne's book group, Mike had joined us for one of our book gatherings. He's got a wonderful book on shadow people and shadow beings as well. So if you're trying to put a face to the name, that was that gentleman. But he's got a lot of books, well, a lot, maybe like what, 4 or 5 on portals, UFOs. He's got a podcast that I am unprepared with right now because I was going to have this ready for next week. But if you look up Mike Ricksecker on Facebook, you can find him. He does a lot of live talks. He just recently had Dustin Perry on, and they had a very interesting conversation about all of these scientists wrapped around NASA and UFO type things that just keep going missing.
Hmm.
So that was interesting. Look up Mike Ricksecker, but he will be with us next week. My signed book is in my car, so I can't show you that book.
Take us with you.
Yeah, let's go take a trip outside. Um, so very knowledgeable gentleman, very factual. He does have was it the Navy or Air Force that he was in? So he's got some military background, so very logical thinking. Isn't quick to just jump way off into woo woo. He has a very analytical mind, and then goes, "Yeah, that's still weird. Let's talk about it." So, so he will be with us next week, and I will have my book to show you. Um, but very knowledgeable guy and some UFO talk. And Kayla,
Hmm.
hopefully you can definitely join us in your travels with internet connection to
It's next week, right? That
yes.
we're here. Okay. I'm actually pulling out my. Ooh,
What
those trucks
trucks?
are so loud. It's honestly like total side topic here. So the roads are like really windy. I'm literally in the mountains, right? I'm pretty close to Sugarloaf Mountain. It's about 3.5 hours from Katahdin. Sorry, I said that word. So I'm in that area, Bigelow Mountain. But so there's 20 minutes from the Quebec border. I walked to Quebec 2 days ago, actually. I walked across the border and came back. Um, but these logging trucks haul ass down these roads. They're all windy, and there's moose and there's bears, and there's just these huge double trailer logging trucks just flying down the roads. And when they come, they're so loud, you can hear them coming forever. And then they're here because they drive so fast. But it's impressive. So,
I wouldn't be
but yes,
driving that
I'm
fast if there's a
home.
moose or a bear on the road because nothing good seems to come.
You're
I would not be driving that
right.
fast. Cool, Chris.
I will
We
be.
might have a backup if Mike for some reason can't. There it is. She's like, cool, that would be amazing. If you run into a snag, let me know. I might be able to help. We have close ties to the shipbuilding industry.
Ooh.
So might have to do some research between now and next week on ships just in case, but we can also have that scheduled for later.
Hmm.
Be like, Chris, what Wednesdays are you available? When can you take lunch, Chris? Um, hello, hello.
There's nothing wrong with lunch at 9:30, 10 a.m. Not at all.
Yeah. Like, I'm hungry now. My coffee wore off. I need food now. Um, and I'm sure maybe at some point we can get Mike on to talk about shadow people again. He's
Like
very,
that. Yeah.
very cool guy.
Yes, he
No
is.
ego to him at all, despite how many TV shows this man's been on. And fun fact, he is local to the store. So that's why it's kind of easy to snag him. Um, because he's a friend of the store. He's local and he loves helping local. So, um, but yeah, check out his books online. If you decide that there's one that you may want and have it signed, even if you're not local to us, he will be in the store on June 13th from 11 to 1. So we will have to open a little early. It's not a mistake. He will talk for an hour on Portals to the Stars, answer questions, he'll sign copies. And so if you would like a signed copy from Mike, even if you're not local, reach out. We'll get him to sign it for you, ship it out. So he loves doing that. Um, but yeah, I think a whole thing on
I
ships.
don't
And if
think I've
you,
met him. Have I?
I don't think so.
I don't think I have.
He is at Parapsychon every year. He is a diehard for Parapsychon, and I love that. And since you haven't gotten to come yet, Kayla, I don't think you've crossed paths. I mean, he
Okay.
does a lot of paranormal stuff and UFO conventions, but I don't think it's been any that you two have ever
Okay.
crossed paths with.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's a Parapsychon like
Every year.
staple.
He was actually before we took it to the reformatory. He was actually part of it because the first 2 years we had it in Lorain County at St. Joseph's Hospital, which was an old abandoned hospital. We had it there a couple of years, and he was there from the very beginning. So even though we're going on, we just finished Parapsychon 7. It's actually Parapsychon 10 that we're going to be going into. So yeah, that's a long time to be part of an event. And he's a great guy. I mean, I just love Mike. He's so knowledgeable. And like you said, he's logical too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was trying to think how many years I've been with you guys because I didn't get to do the hospital. I think maybe I came in on the second year at OSR,
Mhm.
maybe. And
Mhm.
so I was trying to count by like how many spaces I remember being in. I'm like, there was one here, there was two, three, and I'm like, so is it four or five? I think maybe longer. I don't know, but
Mhm. It's been a
but
long time. Yeah.
Mike's been there even longer than I have. I think Dave Schrader's been there longer
He's
than
been there since the start at an OSR. Yeah. We have our loyal talent that's there, like Dave Schrader. We have Shane Pittman, Aaron Sagers, Mike Ricksecker, Tim Shaw, Dustin Perry, John
Tim
Zaffis.
Shaw's from up by me.
I love Tim Shaw. Tim Shaw is an amazing person. We should have him on here sometime.
We could.
You know him better than I do, ma'am. That would be a Kathy conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The irony is, I know him because we've crossed paths a fair amount of times. So, like, we know each other. I just don't know him that well. I kind of excluded myself from the, the whole paranormal community up here, just by choice, just because. But yeah. So one of us can reach out to him, or both of us. We'll corner him.
Yeah.
I don't think he would say no.
Believe it or not, I
He's a
was
nice
just
guy.
talking with him before the show on my way in. So
Oh,
he's
fun.
coming up with some new things that he's going to be doing. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Um, He's doing all kinds of different things, and I can't find it. But anyways, it's expanding outside of the paranormal a little bit, and he's actually going to be going to locations and doing events and things like that. I'm actually talking to him about coming in and doing something at OSR. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah, I just love that guy. He's just so down to earth. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I'm
I
actually surprised he puts up with some of the stuff that goes on around because he is so impartial to things, and he's so, I mean, he's tolerated all the things that I walked away away from, but I give him credit for that because it's, he doesn't get sucked into it, and he doesn't let the ego thing get to him, and he's just friendly to everybody. He doesn't talk down to people. Nobody's like not good enough for him to talk to, that kind of thing. He's just like a good, genuine guy. His wife's really nice too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the celebrities that come out to OSR, like they are so personable. And if there was one year, my friend Nikki was helping and somebody came and bought a tarot. I thought nothing of it. And they walked away and she goes, "Don't you know who that is?" And I'm like, "No." And God, his name. He was a younger but really tall ghost hunter TV. It was him and a woman that they were the two.
Oh, Adam
That
Berry?
yes, yes, it was Adam Berry.
Yeah.
She's like, Adam Berry just bought tarot from our table, and I went,
Who's
I'm the
that?
same way. I would not know either. I'd be like, I don't know who.
yeah.
Google.
Came up, he was talking about it, and I was like, "This one's really cool. The artwork on the box is this big. Let me pull it, just because I like artwork on tarot." Never once did he be like, "Well, I'm Adam Berry, and I need a really good deck." He was just like, "Oh, this one looks. I'm drawn to this one," and it was very
Give me a
personable.
discount. I'm famous.
Yeah, none of them are like that at all.
That's awesome.
Every now and then you might know ones walking around because there will kind of be like a little bit of an entourage with them.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Amy, I didn't realize who the Wraith Chasers were walking around until after they had walked out of the diagonal room that I was in. And somebody was like, well, the Wraith Chasers just left. And I'm like, well, didn't know who but they were walking around like I had seen them in there, thought nothing of it. They were not wearing like we're Wraith Chase. They had plain clothes, walking around, just shooting the shit with people. Um, it's very cool. Like there is no ego in, anywhere.
As it
And
should be. Good job putting
yeah.
that together because that's hard to find. That's honestly one of the reasons I stopped going to events because I'm like, I'm not that kind of person. And it's like, I love doing Melissa's events and I haven't been to yours, but by the sounds of it, like I just hate the competition, the like, come over here kind of thing. I don't know.
That's
Egos.
I do have to say that's the way the Parapsychon group is, though. We're more like a big family, no egos. We like one
What we do.
another, you know,
Right.
and we have each other's backs too, throughout all of it, because as everybody knows, there is paranormal drama out there
Oh,
in the
yeah.
community and everything. But I have to say, our group of people are the best.
I love that. Well, and it should be that way with the healing community, paranormal, the mediumship community. It should just be that way. People find who they're meant to be with. You shouldn't have to be coercing people to your event, to these things. People find their way to them, and you shouldn't be bullying people to do what you do or want what you have, basically. And I like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Chris. I'm like, wow, I don't think all of this will show, so I will have to read the remainder. Several years ago, when Adelphia was bought by Time Warner, there was someone who was on the board for the Historical Society who worked for them. They offered a tour to the TWC, wow, employees, and we got a full tour of top to bottom of OSR. It was amazing. I did it 3 years in a row. It was so much fun. And I'm
really
sure
cool.
it'll be even better now because Kathy, you guys have been doing a lot of restoration work.
Oh yeah, whole lot of restoration work.
So I'm sure it's even
Yeah.
better. I still have yet to get to go all the way through the building because I come out for OSR to my table. You walk around the main areas and try not to get lost if I need to get from where I'm at to outside to the front to find food, and then I come back and I'm like, I'll just wander and you'll find me. And then with Blood Prison, it's like I walk in, I find, whoever's in charge of vendors, like right there by the ticket. And then they go, you're right here. And then I go outside and I'm outside all season, except to maybe go to the bathroom. And one of the volunteers will sneak me around back to use an indoor bathroom instead of a porta potty. Because Kathy, I want to add this to your list of things to do, even though you are not part of Blood Prison. I love that there's porta potties for everybody, but can we get porta potties that have lights in them? Because once the sun goes down, you are trying to juggle your phone flashlight
moths.
Potty to
Nobody wants to go into a porta potty with a moth in it. Well, I don't. I'm not either.
So you are, and let's face it, porta potties, there's nowhere safe to not touch anything. And so it's like, where do you put your phone? The toilet paper thing is rounded, so your phone's going to fall off. And so you're sitting there with it under your chin. You're like, well, I know where I am body wise, but where do I sit? Because I don't want to,
This is what I do.
Yeah, that's
I'm haunted by the dark porta potties, ma'am.
wear a headlamp. Tap your little forehead button.
Well, I don't even know if they have lit
They
porta.
do.
You
Do
know
they?
what? Hey,
Yeah, they do. They have like solar ones too, or like just like battery light ones. But me and my moth phobia, I'm like, I would refuse to go in that. I'd be like, cover the light so I can go in there, please. Maybe a red light. I haven't seen one with red lights. I've seen one with just like regular like white lights. So maybe if you did like a red light or a green light, and then that way, the things wouldn't be
Right.
attracted to it.
but I was
Yeah,
like, even
you
if
know
we
what? I'll
got
put that
those,
request in.
Glow
But
sticks. You can stick some glow sticks in there.
I hate to do this, but I do need
oh
to
yes,
log
it
out.
is
We're
almost
5 minutes out. I have an event that I need to go to for OSR, so I got to cut my time on today's show a little short. So thank you all for being here. It was actually a fun conversation.
It
I
was
had
fun.
fun doing this.
We covered a
yeah,
lot of stuff, all different
Yeah,
things. We found out some new things about each other. That was kind of fun.
yeah.
yep.
So hopefully
So
we'll get to maybe reschedule Todd. But I think it was kind of fun. It seemed like most of our viewers hung in there, but we got some,
See you next
advice.
week.
We'll plan like maybe a haunted ghost ship with some history, and maybe you, Kayla, or Kathy can get a couple
We'll
of
work on it. I wonder if that's
yeah,
one of their superstitions that they can't talk about everything like public, if they just talk. So we'll pry a little bit, see what can happen.
maybe if we get them a little mask, they can wear a
Right.
mask or something,
The
to
voice
hide who they are.
thing, the
Right,
voice
voice
changer.
recorder. Um, you know what though? Oh, that's not the one I wanted to show. That's what the bra is for. But here's the thing: it is all of October, and we are vending from 7 o'clock at night to midnight.
Oh,
So
blood prison.
you are dressed very warmly, and because we're outside, you are extra warm. So there's not really an easy way to get a
Oh,
bra in with your phone flashlight.
I think it's some glow sticks. You can just leave glow sticks in there. They should light up because you can get the ones that are like for a tent, right? Just snap them, and then you got to worry about like,
Pick them up there. Yeah.
yeah, just hook them up there.
Well, one of the workers for Blood Prison, we've gotten to know him over the years that we've been down there, and we'll text him and be like, hey, need a bathroom run, and he'll come over with a golf cart, let me hop on, and he'll drive me to the back. So I'm going in
Perfect.
where the actors are resting or fixing their makeup and stuff, or they're sitting there eating. So there's the warden's widow trying to grab a snack, and I'm like, I'm just here to um
You're human.
so I'm like, I am haunted by the bathrooms, the porta potties during Blood Prison. But so next week, we will have Mike Ricksecker. We will see if we can't get Mortuary Manor owner to reschedule maybe with us. I'm thinking he slept in because he is a night owl. So, and I did double check. I told him AM, not PM. So hopefully he'll be able to reschedule for us. And if nothing else, this is universe giving us time to collect more stories, maybe from him and some of his other staff. But we are putting an event together at Mortuary Manor on November 6th with some seances. Jacqueline LaFara from Forsaken Souls is coming out. We had an episode of The Healer's Corner with her. So if you want to go find that episode on the podcast, she is a retired U.S. Marshal, paranormal investigator, and her team concentrate on cold cases, and they have solved a few.
I find it interesting, like military related type things, or like that, like law enforcement that have chosen to do like remote viewing and stuff. That's pretty cool how that ties in. That's actually how I was trained to do remote viewing with somebody in the Army that did it. But it's kind of like a really neat thing. There's a different dynamic because I also went to a class for like just regular remote viewing from like another like medium psychic type person. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, there's a very different dynamic to it, especially if you're looking for people and cold cases and stuff. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wish law enforcement, like the missing persons unit, they do actually take. You can call the missing persons unit and tell them like, I'm a medium and blah blah blah. I was working on this case. You don't ever really get to find out stuff. But I wish more like police departments would take that seriously from people that actually genuinely want to help, because. Not that I know of, none of us charge for that, for a cold case missing person, that kind of thing. But I wish it would be taken more seriously and used, and
Well, I'm hoping I can get Jacqueline during her day job or her daytime. Like, can you please take a lunch break at 10 a.m. on Wednesday to talk about this on our paranormal discussion? But there is a whole episode on the Healer's Corner, and she goes in, she gives a little bit of hints about some of the cases that they've solved, but there is going to be an Amazon show releasing at the end of
cool.
summer. Goddess Elite and the Healer's Corner, we are sponsors for the whole thing. So I'm excited for that. Cool. But she is coming out for the Mortuary Manor event. I will hopefully have that finalized and launched. I just want to see in person the size of the building, that I want to make sure seances and ghost hunt don't contaminate one another. But right now the thought is one seance around 7 o'clock, the more tame one with Gregory Nicholas and Calavera, then a more spooky shit one, crazy shit one with Calavera and Michael Matrone, who is okay with physical mediumship, possession, stuff like that. So you got your tame, you'll have your more wacky fun, in my opinion, and some ghost hunts with Jacqueline helping lead some of that in November. But hopefully we can get Todd here soon on about the history of the building, any experiences he and his staff may have. He also owns the Anatomy Museum of Death in Michigan, what might be going on in that building as well. So thanks for hanging in there, guys. Kayla, at some point we have to get you back at the store.
I know. Weekends are so hard. I need to figure out weekdays, and right now there's just so much craziness going on. But
yeah. But hopefully you guys...
For those that don't know, I'm a farmer on the weekends. So it's really hard to do all that and travel, and that's why I actually have this opportunity. It's been raining so much up here that I was my friend was coming up to Maine, so I ended up with this whole weekend. I'm well, I can't take a tractor in a field because it would just sink at this point. So I'm this works out. I can go.
Right. So well, thanks for joining, everybody. I'm gonna hop off here because
me too.
My other employees are running late today to the store, so
I think we need to start changing. This should be nationally that Woo Woo Wednesdays you get a 10 o'clock lunch break, because noon is not working for our schedule. So we need to change the whole national schedule to 10 a.m. lunch breaks from this point forward. Then I'll notifications.
Just spread the word, guys. Spread the word. But hopefully you can join us next week with Mike. Have questions ready about portals, interdimensions, aliens, all sorts of fun stuff, even some shadow people, because he's got a wonderful book on that as well.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good week.
Okay.
Are we